Good afternoon and welcome to Orient Live. I'm joined here by Glenn Wilkie and Joe Widdowson, and we've got a fantastic game in store for you today as the O's are back here at the Gotham Group Stadium and they're facing struggling side Shrewsbury Town, but they have picked up a little bit of form as of late. However, Orient's form as of late has been stupendous. All things considered, should be a zinger of a game.
I hope so. Talking to supporters before the game, very, very positive. They've got carried away with the form over the last sort of 7 games, which I don't blame them. Been really, really good. But I think today's going to be a real tricky one with Shrewsbury fighting for their lives, scrapping for their lives at the bottom of the league. A new manager's come in and they've improved. So it'll be a tough one.
It certainly will. And let's consider New Year's Day against Bristol Rovers. We had to dig really deep. Maybe not fortunate. The right decision was made, but we got away with it at the end with that handball goal. But with that festive period considered as well, how good we've been, how energetic we've been, this is kind of the end of a period of some really intense football, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really, really chaotic and hectic sort of month of football. So many games. But I think, we sat here, didn't we, Ollie, right at the start and said, how important it was to try and build momentum, pick up those points. And, you've seen like the confidence has grown. And even with the Bristol Rovers game, they found another way to win. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I feel like the team's evolving, improving, and you can just see like the confidence they're going into games now, and you know the level of your performance you're going to get. Do you know what I mean? It's just been really high. Confidence is flowing, and I think they'll just want to sign off the end of this festive period with another good performance and hopefully another win today.
Well, the confidence train is steaming on, and hopefully we pick up another 3 points today. But now it's time to hear from the main man. It's the gaffer, Richie Wellens.
Shrewsbury have changed manager since we last played them and they've picked up a bit of late. What can we expect from them?
Yeah, unbeaten in 4, a couple of draws in there. Very resilient, get bodies behind the ball, defend the box really well. So we're going to have to be clever, we're going to have to be sharp. We're going to have to move the ball at different speeds at different times of the game. But listen, I keep saying every week, every game is difficult. Every game's difficult. You would have said that Barnsley away was a difficult game. However, Burn at home was a more difficult game for us than Barnsley away. It is what the day requires and what you need to do on that day. So whatever Shrewsbury bring, whatever problems it causes or try to block us, we need to come up with the answers. What's
going to be the key on Saturday, you think, given again the schedule? There's going to be 2 teams that are probably carrying a bit of tiredness. So what's going to be the key to? No,
we're fine. We're at home. We expect our crowd to give us energy, and 4 games in such a short period of time. We wanted to finish on a home game. So we're one of the lucky ones. We've had, a lot of us have moaned this year about the international breaks we're having. Every international break we've had a home game, and when that is rearranged, we have it on a Tuesday. Well, we'd like to think that over the course of the season things balance itself out, and I think this is one of the things that have balanced out. The fact that we have 2 home games on the 26th to 29th is a big help. We have an away game on the 1st, which was a tough away game, but it's not the biggest distance. And now we finish that block of games with another home game. So I think we've been fortunate, whereas in the past with the international breaks we've been unfortunate. So let's finish it off with another 3 points.
Right then, without much further ado, let's take a look at the home side and see how Richie Wellens has opted to shape up for the first home game of 2025. So in goal, it is the super Josh Keeley. Across the across the back four. Sorry, we have Jack Curry at left back with Ethan Galbraith on the opposite side of defence at right back. Jack Simpson and Omar Beckles in the heart of defence, with Darren Pratley wearing the armband again today alongside Jordan Brown. Then ahead of them two is Ollie O'Neill, Jamie Donnelly and Sonny Perkins. And leading the line is Charlie Kelman. And on the bench for the O's is Noah Phillips, James Sweeney, Brendan Cooper, is Warrington, Dialang, Jay Seamy, Sean Clare and Zach Obiero. So that is how the O's are lining up. And I think we've got to start with the notable absentee. Dan Adjei went off injured on New Year's Day. A massive miss, let's not beat around the bush.
Huge miss, because after his injury struggles and his slow start to the season, getting match sharp, he's come away with, is he on 10 goals this season? He's been unplayable at times over the last month, and he's a real thorn in the opposition's side. And for him to get the ankle injury at Bristol Rovers is a real big miss. They were quite happy, I think, when they saw him going off early on. But then Kelman comes on. Kelman's been great as well, and he gets a goal, and we still win the game. But for him not to be there, looking at our bench as well, if anything happens to Kelman today, my worry is forward options. We're quite light at the moment. There's not too many forward options to replace those guys. Touch wood, Kelman is fine. But Dan will be a huge miss, absolutely huge miss, and let's hope that the injury is not too serious and he's back pretty quick.
Absolutely. Well, as you say, we may be slightly light, but at the same time, still very strong. Charlie Kelman's had a fantastic festive period, scoring a handful of goals. Sonny Perkins with a couple of assists on New Year's Day. Ollie O'Neill looking back to his very best. Despite the absence of Adjei, you know, we've got goals in this forward line. Yeah,
and I think that's the one positive. You know, there's no doubt. I think, you know, at times Dan sort of carried our attack this season. He's been just such a threat wherever he's played across the front line. But I think, you know, the one good thing is that we've got so many good forward players in form at the moment. You know, recent weeks, you know, the likes of Donnelly, you know, Perkins really stepped up. Ollie O'Neill's hit a nice little patch of form recently. So, you know, hopefully, and as you said, you know, Charlie Kelman's been banging in the goals, which has been good to see over the last few games. So hopefully, you know, we've got enough to cover Dan's absence. But like Glenn said, you know, if anything does happen to Charlie, you know, we do potentially look a little bit light up top. We may do, but let's keep positive, because if you look at New Year's Day, 3 goals conceded, and then before that 2 against Cambridge, 3 against Crawley, 4 against Barnsley, 2 against Charlton in the Cup, 2 against Wigan. I mean, we've not scored in a game for a very long time, and the defence has been outstanding as well. But in that goals department, confidence is sky high. Yeah, and as Richie just said there, he's like trusts the process, and talking about the stuff they've been doing on the training ground with runs and movement and what to do with the ball, without the ball, and it's only come through in this last month, sort of, with the goals we've been scoring. So there's a bigger understanding from the whole squad, I think, with where they should be, what they should be doing with and without the ball to get themselves into great sort of offensive positions to get opportunities to score goals. And the goals have been spread around a bit as well, and at times where we've needed a goal, Omar Beckles has stepped up and scored a couple, and we've scored goals from set pieces. So the goals are being spread around, which you need on a good run of form, and if you've got to threaten the sort of playoff top spots. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll create chances. I just hope we get a couple of early goals, because Shrewsbury will have to come back at us, and it'll open the game up, and we know how good we are on the break and sort of dissecting teams when there's a bit of space. Well, we're going to have to be good going forward, Joe, especially looking at Shrewsbury's last maybe 4 results or so. There's 3 draws in there, low scoring draws, and 1-0 win over Lincoln. We'll come on to them shortly, but in a sense of Orient attacking, do you expect Shrewsbury, Gareth Ainsworth in charge now, they'll probably sit fairly back, be quite hard to beat? I expect them to be tough to beat. Yeah, you know, I think, you know, going into, as a new manager, going into a team that's been near the bottom of the league struggling, the first thing you want to do is make them more solid and harder to beat, which he obviously has done, you know, looking at their last few results. So, you know, they've got a lot of experience back there. You know, they've got, you know, a few players that have played a lot of league games and know the level quite well. So I think, you know, first and foremost, they'll come and they'll want to try and make it hard. You know, they know that we've been in good form, particularly at home, scoring a lot of goals. So they'll want to be tight at the back. But, you know, at the same time, I think they'll also want to, you know, come here with, you know, in a positive frame of mind. You know, they've been improving slowly but surely. So yeah, I think, you know, they'll obviously have a bit of attacking intent there as well. But you know, like they said, we're in good form. I think you can see. I think we're now seeing like the benefits of, you know, Richie's coaching, like the man management of players, you know, coming in and out of the team at different times, and you're seeing, you know, the likes of Donnelly, that the improvement, you know what I mean, that he's made, the steady improvement. Perkins as well, Ollie O'Neill, and these guys are so young. Do you know what I mean? They're babies really. Someone like the likes of Ollie O'Neill, I think this is probably his first full season in the Football League. So there's, you know, you're gonna get ups and downs. It's gonna happen, but I just think credit to the coaching staff and the way and the players. Do you know what I mean? And the way they've kind of built themselves into this current like patch of form at the moment.
Looking elsewhere in London in the early kick-off, Spurs lost narrowly to Newcastle. Does that worry you slightly that they might look for a spark of creativity and goals? And we've got one on loan here who's been fantastic. Scored an incredible free kick on New Year's Day. Joking aside,
I thought you was talking about a goalkeeper then.
Well, I was talking about Jamie Donnelly. If they need some goals, they do worse than looking at him. He's a joking aside. He's been exceptional recently. He's making us tick, isn't he?
He's done very well, and I'm really pleased with him because, like Joe was just saying about these youngsters who've come in, started a bit slow. Expectation levels were high on these guys from our supporters, and they did start slowly, but they've got into the way of thinking of what the manager wants them to do and positional sense. And people say, oh, they've come from Spurs, they should be able to slot straight in. They play a different system. They play with different players, different kinds of players. You've got to learn a system. You've got to know when that player gets the ball, I'm going to make that run there because I know he can deliver it there, or he's got that pass within his locker to find me here. And it's knowing your teammates on the pitch, you know, and you only get that from training with them day in, day out, and learning about and studying the game and taking that information on board, because it's quite easy to see or be told what to do, but to take it on board and recognise it in key moments in games is difficult. But for such young players, especially for him, he's done really well, and his goals have come through as well, and he's been superb these last few games. Hopefully there's no Tottenham people here today watching the game. Well,
hopefully not. But just a quick word on the defence then before we move forward. Another notable absence is Dan Happy. Jack Simpson comes in though. The defence has been so good, maybe a little bit leggy in the sense of conceding 2 to Bristol Rovers on New Year's Day, but the football's been intense, so it's maybe expected. But maybe Jack Simpson coming in will add a little bit of a spark and add a bit more energy.
Yeah, I think, you know, we know that Jack's a very capable player. You know, he's obviously come from a good level, good pedigree. Very similar in a lot of ways to Dan, you know, stature, left-footed, similar attributes. You know, he's got that lovely range of passing with his left foot. And I think he'll probably be frustrated at his lack of minutes so far this season. So I think it's, look, you know, we know that Richie likes to make changes and have a squad that's capable. Do you know what I mean? Whether, you know, you're in or out the team, he wants people that are ready to come in and play and do a job. So I think it's a good opportunity for Jack. Do you know what I mean? To come in and stake his place for the shirt. But, you know, saying that, we know that partnership of Dan and Omar has been so good. It's so, they understand each other's games so well and they complement each other great. So, you know, I think Omar, by the way, has been fantastic. He's been that real kind of that steady rock at the heart of the defence all season. And also, I think, you know, although we loved, or I like seeing him in midfield and getting on the ball as a number 10. I think Ethan is great at right back. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure he wants to play further forward, but it just so happens that he's gone to fullback, which has coincided with this great run of form. And, you know, he's picked up where he left off last season in that role, and he's been doing great there as well.
He certainly has. I think he could be great wherever he plays on the pitch. He's just that good. But just to remind you, today's game is available to stream outside of the UK and Ireland. So if you're watching live on our YouTube preview stream, then you can head over to the Match Centre on the Orient website. And if you're an international fan, you can pick up a match pass for just £10 to watch along with us here on Orient Live. Or UK fans, you can pick up an audio pass to listen along with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock. Right then, before we move forward, let's hear from another Orient legend. It's time to hear from Mr. Terry Howard.
Terry, our first home game of 2025 pits us against Shrewsbury. It obviously comes at the end of the really hectic Christmas period. Just first of all, how will the lads be feeling in their legs this morning?
Yeah, they're probably, you know, they might feel it a bit later in the game today. But when you're winning games, you don't tend to feel the aches and the pain so much. So I don't think it'll be an issue today.
When you do have a positive Christmas period, which we've had so far. It's obviously not over yet. How much of a difference can that make to a whole season?
This is such a crucial time. I mean, we said the sort of 5-6 games leading up to Christmas and into the new year, they can define your season. We've gone from possibly a relegation battle, and all of a sudden now we're looking at the playoffs, and the momentum that they've gained through them games has been fantastic. And as I say, I think all's looking very, very bright for the rest of the season.
And when you hit a patch of form like we're in now, do you almost want game with not much training in between?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing at the moment. They won't be doing a lot of training. You know, Richie would just have them in. You know, they'll probably be having a lot of massage, a little, loosener. Don't have to train much during this time of the year. And as you say, when Richie's job at the moment, is probably as easy as it gets. He doesn't have to do too much of them. He just has to make sure they're not complacent and to keep things ticking over.
And Shrewsbury today, I imagine they'll come and approach it similarly to how Burton Albion did a few weeks ago. What's going to be the key for us today, do you think?
Early goals, as I always say. Really, what I've been impressed with us, we've really set the stall out early. I was saying earlier in the season that I felt like we need to go for teams a little bit more early, put them under pressure, and I think that's what we've done. And now teams come in here, they're looking at our results, and they're probably, as you say, might be a little bit more wary and cautious about how they approach the game. And as you said, I think that they will probably approach the game a little bit like Burton did, try and keep it tight, try and quieten the crowd down and frustrate us, But if that happens, then we've just got to be patient.
And just lastly, I hope everyone who's here today is going to be wrapped up nice and warm, but as you mentioned, towards the end of the game, the players may be feeling it in their legs. How much of a difference can those in the stands make to those on the pitch? Yeah,
listen, the crowd, as I always say, they are the 12th man, and they've really been on board. And why wouldn't they be? Because obviously we're playing well. I do also think that what's probably good for us, we've been fairly lucky with injuries, like in the not so much obviously with Theo and with Jordan, but we haven't had too many recently. It looks like we've lost Dan today, but Sean Graham's back in the fold. And I look at our bench now, and that helps us well. We've got a strong bench, so Richie can change things up. So if anyone is looking a bit, heavy-legged, we should be okay.
Before we return our attention to today's fixture, let's look ahead to next Saturday when the O's are at home again, but it's not in league action, it's in the FA Cup, and we're facing Championship side Derby County. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff, and tickets are just £10. Hopefully the O's can put a cup set on the cards and progress into the 5th round. It's a big one, so make sure you get yourself down to the Gotham Group Stadium for that one. But let's return our attention now to this Orient side as well. And another positive we've maybe not spoken about too much in recent weeks is Sean Clare returning to the squad. He could be like a new signing. He was so good just before he got injured, and that was maybe a mini resurgence in form. And him dropping out injured didn't help. But now he's back, and now we're in good form. He could really add a lot to this squad.
Yeah, it does feel like another, almost like new signing in a sense, like a big bonus, because we've had this great run and he's not been a part of it. So to have him back, with the form that he was in before, and I think especially in that midfield area where we've been, obviously Darren Pratley's been playing a lot, probably maybe more than he would have expected to play. But yeah, I think the fact that Sean will come back in and hopefully maybe come on today and start getting some minutes and building his way back up. But I think with the quad injury that he had, it's one of those ones you do have to be careful with him, because you can strike a ball too hard, or you go to sprint and you can feel it and re-aggravate them quite easily. So hopefully he's back to full fitness soon, and it'll be a good addition.
Especially on cold days like today.
Yeah.
Sitting there, it's freezing out there. You need to keep warm. You need to get warm and be ready when you do come on back. Like you were saying, he's ideal replacement to come on for Pratley if Pratley's getting a bit tired or Jordan Brown's getting a bit tired. But what I love about him is he's so tenacious, getting in and around and winning these tackles. But when he does win the ball, passes it simple and quick first time, bang. Doesn't try and overcomplicate the game, moves the ball quick. And we always go on about moving the ball quick and getting it forward early. He's ideal for that. That type of game. What a good player, very good player. Pleased he's back.
We've got some clips of what he can offer to the side, and what you were saying there, Glenn, you were spot on. maybe brought in to play at right back, but as we'll see here, he's so much more than just a conventional right back. Perhaps he could still free Ethan Galbraith up, but there's just so much you can add to this team, isn't there?
Yeah, but you talk about Ethan Galbraith, freeing him up a bit. There's a good goal there, and that was obviously before the injury. But he's done really well. There's no need to change our fullbacks whatsoever, and with Sean Clare coming in before the injury, he done really, really well in that midfield. Shame he got the injury, but then we've not got any clips of him since he's come back. But since he has come back, he looks like he's got that real determination, because he's missed that first part of the season through injury, and he's come back, and he just keeps the ball. Look, he just moves the ball. He looks forward. He gets the ball, and he's always looking forward to pass the ball on. And that was a bit scrappy, but there you go, double header. But he just likes to pass the ball forward, and that comes with his experience and taking on the wishes of the coaching staff and the manager and the way we want to play. But yeah, real good addition to have back in the squad.
It certainly is. So, kickoff is just over 10 minutes away. So, let's take a look and see how the visiting side are lining up for today's fixture. And starting in goal for Shrewsbury Town is Jamal Blackman. They've got the three centre-backs of Aaron Pierre, Josh Feeney and Morgan Feeney. Across the midfield is Malvine Benning, Jordan Shipley, Alex Gilead, Luca Hall and Leo Castledine. And the two strikers, Tom Bloxham and former Orient striker and the captain for Shrewsbury Town, John Marquis. And on the bench for them is Toby Savin, Funso Ojo, Carl Winchester, Jordan Rossiter, Taylor Perry, Joshua Coyote and George Lloyd. So we touched on their form of late and how they could be tough to beat, but they've still got, looking through the lineup, there's still quality in there. They've got a very established manager for this level. They'll be looking in the second half of the season to climb up, won't they?
Yeah, definitely. You know, as we said, they've got a lot of League One experience. You know, a lot of guys who've sort of been around for a long time, know the league, know the level. Got a good manager in place now, so I'm pretty sure that we will start to see them climb up the league and pick up results. Hopefully not today, though.
Hopefully not. They haven't been exactly free scoring, but John Marquis up top, as Joe said, he's been around for a long time. He's a very experienced striker at this level, and he often likes to score against us, I think, not to put a jinx on that one. But they're not. They've scored in 4 of their last 5 games. I think maybe even 5 of their last 5. They're a potentially a dangerous side in a banana skin.
Yeah, they are a dangerous side, but I think as a centre half, you're looking at Omar and Simpson today. Would you rather be playing against John Marquis? How old is he now? He's got to be in his 30s, and he's not the most mobile guy in the world. You know, he used to be when he was younger. I'd rather be coming up against someone like that than this youngster who's 17, 18, strong, powerful, quick, unpredictable, and you don't know what you're going to come up against. At least you know what you're going to be playing against. So I think that could play into our hands defensively a bit. With them, obviously, they're an experienced side. They will be hard to break down initially. And like I said, that first goal is key. If we can get that first goal early, it opens the game up, and the game will go into our hands then, because Shrewsbury will have to come out. Their game plan will go out the window. They're going to have to come and attack us, and that will just open the game up for us. And I can see us causing a bit of damage if that does happen early on.
Since the 31st of October, they've kept 1 clean sheet. We've got some clips here of their defensive capabilities, but even just looking at their record, and as we were discussing earlier about our scoring goals, we should be really confident going into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Glenn made a great point there. You know, for all their sort of experience and know-how in their lineup, they've been conceding like all season long, really. And I think one thing that they may lack is that youthful energy, do you know what I mean, to get about the pitch. I feel like we're, with the form we're in and our youthful exuberance, I think we can really get on top of them, run all over them, particularly in midfield, and put them under pressure, because as we can see here from the clips, they are a team that concedes goals and gives away chances to the opposition.
Are you getting excited watching this, Glenn, or do you think with Gareth Ainsworth in now, maybe it might be slightly different?
I'm actually really disappointed with their defending. I'm looking at it from a defensive point of view from there. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. But Ainsworth, we know what he's like. He managed at Wycombe for many, many years. He went on to QPR and it didn't work out for him there in the Championship last year. He's an experienced manager. He'll know what to do. Like Joe said, they're an experienced team. They may not have as much youth in there. What you would do with a team like that is be hard to beat. You set them up, they'll be disciplined, they'll have a shape about them. When they haven't got the ball, they'll fall into that shape and be really difficult to break down. when they get the ball, it'll be a different story. I don't know what they're going to be like going forward. Are they trying to get set pieces and then try and score a goal on a set piece against us? Will they come and play open football and try and break us down that way? I really don't know. But that first goal is key, and that could be, if that's early, I think it's game over early doors for us, and we'll go on and get the 3 points.
Well, 5 minutes go until kick-off, so let's remind ourselves of how Orient are shaping up for the, let's call it the final game of this festive period. The games have been thick and fast, so there are a couple of changes, of course, but let's take a look at the lineup in full, and starting in goal is number 24. It's Josh Keeley across the back line. It's Ethan Galbraith at right back with Jack Corrie on the opposite side of the fence. Somar Beckles and Jack Simpson, who comes in for Dan Happy, partners together in the heart of defence. Dan Pratley wears the armband alongside Jordan Brown. Sonny Perkins comes in, starts again, and E's alongside Jamie Donnelly. And Ollie O'Neill, who comes in as well. Also, Charlie Kelman comes in to lead the line. And on the bench for the O's is Noah Phillips, James Sweeney, Brandon Cooper, Lou Warrington, Dialang Jayasimi, Sean Clare and Zach Obiero. So, goals, Joe. We want more goals, don't we? And I know we spoke about it a lot, but looking at that, I'm confident about goals. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I am. I really am today. I think, we're going to see a real front-footed performance. You know what I mean? I think, hopefully it's a good fast start. Feed our wide men, feed our boys in form. Do you know what I mean? Get it to our attacking players, and try and create chances and put this team under pressure. Because I feel like Glenn said, the first goal will be crucial. Do you know what I mean? And if we can get that, that will give us a real foothold, and hopefully, then any hope they have of getting something from the game today.
I'm sure none of the players have any eye at all on a week off with no game, but get through this, another positive result. On my word, the last 8 games and especially that festive period could be a really good way to sign it off going into the FA Cup, couldn't it?
Definitely. Get a nice break after the congestion that they've had over the last few days. Going back to the team though, I think our full-backs are going to be key today. They play inverted, they come inside with the ball. I don't think Shrewsbury will be able to cope with that. I really don't, and I think the way Curry's been playing and Galbraith's been playing, I think they are going to be key for us for our success for today.
Well, Tijuana Taxi is ringing around the Gotham Group Stadium here. So let's hand over to the very capable hands of Matt Hiscock, and he's alongside the commentator. It's Dave Victor.